intercepted.
It is intercepted. It's going to be run back on the final play of the game. It's going to be a touchdown.
Trevor got tripped up from behind.
The ball popped out of his hands. It was run back.
Sheldon Rankins
ran it back for a touchdown on the final play of the game.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Jeff Lageman, and Dylan Denmark.
Just to wallow in it for a little longer, here we go on a Check the Tape Tuesday on Jaguars Today. Good morning, everyone. It's crisp outside, Tony Smith. Invigorating, some would say. How you feeling?
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
I'm wearing shorts today, for the record.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not wearing
inside.
shorts. It is warm inside.
It's fine inside.
But I do, look, we're getting a cold snap here for a couple of days, and then it'll be back to kind of cool, but not cold. I don't mind it.
I bought a car this year, and for the first time, I didn't know this. Like, I guess when the temperature is in a certain range, and it was 37 when I got in the car, I get a little snowflake symbol right next to it. So,
in case you didn't know it was cold.
To let you know,
stupid.
37 is chilly right there. Denmark, how you dealing with this on the west side? You all right?
We were good. I'm wearing 2 sweatpants, a long sleeve, and a hoodie.
You really have 2 pairs of sweatpants on?
I do right now.
That's interesting.
I had a price this morning outside, so I didn't change.
Oh, you
my
did?
bottom
Okay.
half.
All right. So you are actually spending time outside today. All right. Let's see where Jeff Lageman's spending time today. He is joining us from a remote locale. Logs, wherever you are, how's the weather?
Cold, just like it is where you guys are.
Yeah, exactly. Cold,
Because
but
I'm not far
beautiful
from you
out, man.
guys.
It's gorgeous out, though, right? I mean, the sun is
it's
shining.
fantastic.
Beautiful
Yeah,
day.
a little windy. You know, I mean, that wind helps kind of cut through, makes you a little bit colder, but you know, it's all good.
The sun did come up, even on Jaguar Nation today, Jeff Lageman. So let's jump into it. It was the biggest collapse in the history of the franchise. They've never lost a 19-point lead in a game in which they've lost. They blew a bigger lead against Buffalo in London and bounced back and won it. But to lose a game when they're leading by 19 points previously, when they had a 19-point lead, they were 51 and 0. What is your first takeaway after that game, Jeff? Like, where do you feel like this is where the attention needed to be? I know it's a team effort. A lot of things collapsed, but if there was one thing that disappointed you the most about how they let that game get away, what was the aspect that disappointed you?
Just the fact that there was nothing that happened as a team down the stretch, because you had opportunities on offense too. I'm talking about lots of opportunities to have won that game from all sides, and they weren't able to do that. The language that you kind of looked at body language wise was they looked tired. It didn't feel like they had any energy. I mean, it was one of those games where you're like, come on, let's go, and they just didn't have it, and it seemed like that play after play that Houston would have, it was, if it wasn't negative, it was just enough to kind of keep the momentum going. And the Jaguars had their opportunities and just couldn't take advantage of it, and that's the disappointing part, because again, they were multiple.
So when that I don't know, sense of urgency, right? Where does that need to come from? Does that come from the leaders in your team? Does that have to be something inherent in each player? Is that something the coaching staff has to impress upon them throughout the week? It would seem there would be a great sense of urgency against the division rival who's had your number for years and years and years.
Yeah, I think it's something to the effect of what kind of Liam talked about a little bit yesterday, that kind of killer instinct, where you got a division opponent and a division rival down, and you've got that 19-point lead. Well, put your foot on their throat. That's the kind of mentality that I think that Liam is talking about, and that's the kind of mentality that you'd like to have. And typically when you have that mentality, the defense is what kind of what comes to mind a lot, right? First of all, 2 ways to kind of put the foot on the throat. One is an offense, stack plays together, run the ball, grind the clock, and take away their heart as a defense. Well, they weren't able to do that. As a defense, get after their quarterback, because look, time is of the essence, and they're going to be dropping back. That they're going to be throwing the ball. Get after their quarterback. And neither one of those things happened down the stretch, and that's the part that was very disappointing. But here's one thing that I will say. I think that game showed some flaws that this team has had all year long, but because of the game situation, I think it just accentuated it and made it more pronounced.
Yeah, I think, Jeff, look, we've had enough conversations over the years about the way defense seems to be played in the NFL right now is basically they want to take away all the deep shots, right? So they want to make you do these long drives where you're on the field for 10-plus plays. Well, they did that twice in the fourth quarter and couldn't make a defensive play to get themselves off the field. That, as much as anything, is the center of my frustration with what happened on Sunday.
Well, I mean, look, you did get them into some third and long opportunities, but you didn't capitalize. But then you also, go to that last drive, the 14 play, 93-yard drive. The Texans were able to have 7 rushes on that drive and averaged almost 7 yards a rush, 6.9. I mean, look, that's not good enough. I mean, if you're going to give yourself a chance to rush the passer, which and everybody knows that the Jaguars are at the bottom of the league in sacks with only 12, and that's been a problem area for them for the most part for the year. The way that you give yourself the best chance to rush the passer is to get into second and long and into third and long. Well, when you're giving up 6.9 a rush on the last drive, it's kind of hard to get into that situation. But look, you still had an opportunity on that last drive. And, just to talk about that last drive specifically, because once the Texans get down to the goal line, they got down to the 2, they had 2 penalties.
Yep.
And backed them up to a 2nd and 14. Well, look, okay, new life, right? Where's the excitement at with 2nd and 14, and then you force an incompletion, and then you got a 3rd and 14, and you're playing a zone. So with a zone, you'd like to have some eyes on the quarterback if he does scramble. Well, he waltzes into the end zone on a 14-yard rush. I mean, it's just like, whoa. It's very frustrating, but that last drive by the defense, I don't think is not the one thing that you want to point at, because you can point at the 2 drives before that for the defense, and then you could also point at the 2 drives before that the offense had, where they did absolutely nothing. So, yeah, a lot of disappointment there. There's probably not a lot of finger pointing going on because there's a lot of fingers pointing right back at you.
Yeah, there's not too many people that are above criticism this week. All right, I've got questions about a lot of what you just said, but we got to hit our first break here, and we've got the phone lines already bustling this morning. Wanted to get in and talk to you, Jeff, and ask you some thoughts on the Jaguars' performance or lack thereof this week, particularly in the fourth quarter against the Houston Texans. If you want to do that, 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines, or for the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Stream us today, as always, on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, or check us out on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, at Logs56, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
Double sweatpants today for Coach Denmark, and make sure he is warm.
Playoff week, man.
He's cozy in the control room.
I don't do with the cold,
today.
son. Don't deal with the cold.
You're that guy? You don't like it? What's cold to you, when it gets below 60?
Yeah, below 60. Little breeze, too much.
Too much. All right. Don't be asking Dylan to play golf in January. All right. Note to self. All right. Here we go. Phone lines loading up already. You can get in on social media. You can get in all the ways we just described. Jeff Lageman is here for the next 2 hours, checking the tape with you on Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for big number 1 Duval Ford. You can go see them. Great. Cassett Avenue, fantastic service department, over 90 service bays, an amazing selection of vehicles on hand, including F-150s, Super Duties, Broncos, you name it. But Ford Mobile Service will come to you. That's right, the convenience of having Ford take care of your automobile at home or at work. Oil changes, filters, battery replacements, recalls, and a lot more with no extra fees and the same dealership quality delivered. Go see them on Cassett Avenue or check them out online at DuvalFord.com.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Fall football keeps college campuses buzzing.
I'm RJ Saunders, and I'll help you slide into a college football Saturday with pregame news and notes.
On the Bueller Air and Plumbing College Kickoff.
Served up by Sonny's Barbecue.
Friday night at 6 on 1010XL.
Want a fresh and flavorful tailgate this season? Chicken Salad Chick has scratch-made Southern-style chicken salad perfect for lunch, parties, and your tailgate. Order 3 ways at one of 4 area locations. Call 1-833-MY-CHICK or online at chickcatering.com.
Jaguars Today Tuesday, kept pest-free by Julington Creek Pest Control.
I love my propane company. They always answer when I call and give me great prices and fast service. Said no one ever.
Until now. Need propane for your home or business? Seabreeze Propane is bringing the propane as North Florida's new local propane provider. Visit SeabreezeLP.com. Seabreeze Propane. We make propane cool, brother. Oh, yeah.
He's got quite a resume.
Ex-Special Forces tactician.
Hayes Carline.
Well-trained in hand-to-hand combat.
Behind enemy lines. 5 hours before kickoff on 1010XL. Activated by Pella Windows and Doors. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway.
Did you know that for every inch of rain on a 2,000 square foot roof, 1,500 gallons come off the eaves of the roof? Call Clearwater Seamless Gutters and Drainage, and we'll design a plan using our Clearwater Seamless Gutters, and we'll connect those gutters to a Clearwater drainage system to solve your erosion and standing water issues.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters.
And drainage, too.
SeamlessGuttersJacksonville.com.
Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org.
This Veterans Day, Navy Mutual would like to salute Roger Staubach as our hero in sports. A Heisman Trophy winning quarterback for the U.S. Naval Academy in 1963, Staubach also went on to win 2 Super Bowl titles for the Dallas Cowboys.
E.T. here, and if you've ever been injured in an accident, you have 14 days to see a doctor and protect your insurance benefits. You have the right to choose your own doctor, too. And I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation, the auto accident experts.
San Jose Collision is hiring for an automotive detailer and porter. If you're detail-oriented, dependable, and love working with cars, apply in person at San Jose Collision in Mandarin. Valid driver's license required.
Now the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
You always need clutch plays when in Clutch City, and Parker Washington made sure to live up to that billing. In the second quarter, the Jacksonville returner would bring back the Houston punt 73 yards for a touchdown, giving the squad a 17-0 lead with 11:40 left in the quarter. The Washington score is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Hi folks, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
At Duck Duck Rooter, we do it all. Plumbing, septic, and air conditioning with expert technicians in each department. Need help? Call 904-862-6769 today and let Duck Duck Rooter handle it all. DuckDuckRooter.com.
When storms start to crop up in the Atlantic or Gulf this time of year, having a solid plan to handle anything that sweeps through the First Coast is very important. That's where American Electrical comes in. Ensure your home's safety and comfort with an American Electrical home generator. As the area's leading home generator dealer and installer, American Electrical can offer you easy installation, simple maintenance, and peace of mind. Schedule an assessment by simply calling the team at American Electrical. They'll walk you through the best generator for your home or business. Log on, american-electrical.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Jeff Lageman Tuesday is serviced by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, Jags will be back at the bank this weekend coming up. First time in a while, and hopefully bouncing back against the LA Chargers. We got Jeff Lageman on a Check the Tape Tuesday. We'll get back to him momentarily. We're about 45 minutes away from the 107th anniversary of the end of World War I, Tony. It ended at the 11th hour, the 11th day of the 11th month of the year. That's why we celebrate Veterans Day, previously Armistice Day, on this date. So thank you to all the veterans, past, present, perhaps future, who have served this country honorably.
No doubt. Yeah, I got family that have done it.
Me too.
They served in World War II, certainly, served in Vietnam, and I've served here for the last 20 years or so, and obviously we all owe a debt to the men and women who have sacrificed so much in time, in treasure, in blood for this country. So, yeah, take a moment today and remember the sacrifices that have been made.
All right, Logs, let's get into it. Let me ask you before we go to these phone lines this morning. You talked about that play where Davis Mills ran in the ultimate game-winning touchdown for them at the end there. I rewatched that play I don't know how many times, but Devin Lloyd, I feel like is kind of in no man's land. He's covering a guy and kind of in the flat there, and as Davis Mills is approaching the line of scrimmage, Devin Lloyd just fully turns his back to kind of go at the guy and kept his back turned until it was too late. Is that the guy on that play who had to have better recognition, that maybe he had some help? Because it looked like there was maybe a little help behind him in the end zone.
Yeah, and I know what you're saying, and I don't think you assign blame on one guy like that. You don't even want to let the quarterback kind of get out of the pocket there. You know, you want to have a little bit of balance in your rush. But once the quarterback kind of escapes, now you're talking about broken play, off schedule play. So rule of thumb for the defense, they have it's called a term called plaster. So you plaster to the guy that's in your zone and you stay with him wherever he goes. And that concept sometimes works, but a lot of times you want the guys that are the short zones are for the one, especially when you're in that kind of tight red zone area, to be able to come up and hit the quarterback if he were to decide to run. So in that situation, you'd like to have Devin as a shallow zone player to be able to cover the guy for a short period of time. But then, hey, look, if he's out, which he was, you've got to come up and this allow your guy behind you to hopefully get picked up by one of the deeper zone players in that concept. So I mean, but look, you got to have a little balanced rush there. Josh gets up the field, which is fine, but then you didn't have a very balanced rush from the inside, and Josh tries to come back, but because the quarterback slipped out in a hurry, Josh didn't have time to recover. Trayvon actually had a really good rush against Trent Brown, and if you had a little balance on the other side that kept him in the pocket, Trayvon probably would have had a sack or at least a hit on the quarterback.
All right. Well, I just wanted to see what your take was on the way that played out, and not trying to assign all the blame to one guy. Just looked like he could have been in position to alter that play if he got his head turned around a little bit sooner.
Oh, yeah, he could have. I mean, but I get it. It's a plaster concept, but at the same token, you're a shallow zone player. Plaster concept only works for a short period of time. You've got to be able to come up.
All right. Let's get out to the calls for the first time this morning. If you've got a question or comment about Jaguar football that you'd like Jeff Lageman to weigh in on, that's what we're looking for today on a Check the Tape Tuesday. Let's go to Eric on the west side to start things off this morning. Eric, good morning.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good. What's up?
Yeah, I'm going back to that same play because I want to put an APB out for Josh Hines Allen. I just feel like Sunday's game it should have been his game. It should have been his coming out party, and particularly on that last on that play, he does a good job of getting a rush. Now, if he countered that with a spin move, Davis Mills is in his lap, and then Trayvon is coming up for the cleanup because he be his guy. So I just feel like Josh Hines Allen, he should have had a better game. He should be better all season because every year before the season starts out, he starts out saying, I want to win Defensive Player of the Year, and you only got 1 sack in 9 games. So I just feel like he gotta turn it on this week and turn it on for the rest of the season.
All right.
A couple things there. Yeah, Eric, he's got 2 sacks on the year. On that play, it's kind of talking about, well, he should have had a spin move. Well, I mean, hindsight's always 20/20 on that. What Josh did is he made an up the field move, which he had actually beaten the left tackle Ariante Ursary earlier in the game on, which he had a couple good rushes in the game, but overall not good enough by Josh. So he actually goes back to the move that he had earlier in the game that he beat the guy and was on the quarterback in like 2 seconds. So I thought it was a great idea, a great plan by Josh of going back to that move because it worked so well earlier. And he couldn't retrace his steps fast enough because the quarterback obviously gets out in a hurry. It wasn't like one of these, oh, I'm thinking about getting out kind of a things. Once Trayvon bared down on him, you could see that Davis Mills took off in a hurry. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more balance from the defensive tackles in that situation, whether it been Smoot or Eric Armstead in that situation, to be able to at least feather the quarterback more parallel to the line of scrimmage to allow time for everybody else to recover. But that wasn't the case. It was a vertical escape. And as a defensive end, sometimes when you have a vertical escape by a quarterback who goes up the B gap, it's hard to do anything about it, to be honest with you.
All right, so that play aside, just overall assessment of how Josh Hines-Allen played in that game.
Not good enough. I mean, I think that's, look, you're playing against a rookie tackle in Ariante Ursary. You expect more from Josh, and didn't get more from Josh in a game that you really wanted him to have a good game. But the same goes true for everybody. I mean, you had a new right side of that Texans offensive line, which Ed Ingram and Titus Howard were missing because of injury. One guy had a knee, one guy had a concussion. And so you got Trent Brown, who's 380 pounds. Trayvon beat him a couple times, but I didn't think Trayvon beat him enough because he's a big guy, and Trayvon got in a little bit of a pushing contest with him at times, and that's not what you want to do with a guy like that. Eric had a couple good rushes against the backup Juice Scruggs, but in my opinion, not enough. I mean, when you're playing a Texans team with basically 40% of the offensive line are backups, and one of the other ones is a rookie, you got to have more wins across the board.
Jeff, what do you think the overall grade is for Josh Hines-Allen to this point on the season? Like, the pressure numbers are there, but as you mentioned, it's 2 sacks. He had the matchup several times, including this week against Houston, where going into the game, we thought it should be a big opportunity for Josh Hines-Allen, to put up some of these crooked numbers in the sack category. It obviously hadn't happened so far in 2025. Just how do you feel about his overall season to this point?
Yeah, I think it's a good season, but the numbers aren't there, and it's not the season that you expect from Josh. Sack totals matter. I mean, hate to say that, but that's the reality. Sacks matter, and if you look at Josh, I mean, I'll give you an example. Like PFF probably has him somewhere around 20th as an edge rusher. And that's overall performance. That's not as a pass rusher. As a pass rusher, Josh Hines-Allen is probably farther down the list than that. So it's not like Josh has all of a sudden turned into a bad football player. That's not the case. And I think people want to point to one player after this one game because his expected production wasn't where it needed to be at. Totally understand that and totally agree with that. But at the same token, let's not turn him into a bad football player just because of one game's outcome.
No, he's not bad, but he's not playing at an elite level, and he's being paid as an elite player. And I think that's what the average fan looks at that and expects the most from the guys who are making the most. And, I mean, that includes Trevor Lawrence, who we'll get to his play coming up here as well. So.
Yeah, no, I get it. And look, they need to be better across the board. And I thought that they took some steps this past game into making the rotations a little bit different. For example, the reality is that production is the bottom line for everything. And if you're not producing enough, then the load needs to maybe be shifted somewhere else to other people, give other people opportunities. In this past game, you saw a reduction in the snaps of Emmanuel Ogbah, and you saw an increase by Danny Strigo. For some reason, down the stretch, they had Ogbah on the field and not Danny Strigo. I don't really quite understand that because Ogbah hasn't given you anything from a pass rush standpoint to date on the year. I think he's had half a sack, and that was in the previous game.
Yep.
So you've got to start giving reps to guys that, maybe to try some things that are different. But at the same token, it's not like you have an all-pro great pass rusher in the wings to just all of a sudden, hey, let's get this, great pass rusher that we haven't played yet. Let's get him some snaps.
Yeah, Strigo played 12 snaps on defense, which was his season high. He had played.
How many did Ogbah play?
Ogbah played 11. So
yeah, I mean, I would have given 20 to Strigo.
He basically took half of his sack because Ogbah played 24 snaps the week before. Strigo didn't play on defense the week before. So they basically gave half of those snaps to Strigo this week. All right, so let's move on because we got a lot of folks who want to get in with their own particular questions. We can circle back to some of this. William in, where is that, Bartram? Is that what it is? Man, my eyes are going, brother. William, you're next up on Jaguars Today.
It says Bat Ram.
Yeah, does it say Bat Ram? Okay, thank you. That's not me. William, good morning.
Good morning. Bartram is right. It's in South Jacksonville.
No, I know Bartram. I just couldn't read it from across the room with the setup we've got right here. Go ahead.
I feel like that game really taught us how valuable Brenton Strange is to our offense because it has not been the same without him. But the main question I want to ask, do we all agree that that was the most ridiculous roughing the passer penalty on Trayvon Walker? Because I feel like
No,
the only reason
absolutely not. That was the right call, William. That was not.
That was
I
the
don't
right
know
call?
why. I've heard people say this and listened to over the last couple of days periodically. That is the absolute right call. The rules state that if you make contact to the head and neck area of the quarterback, it is a penalty. Okay, you have a target. Okay, the target on the quarterback is from shoulders to the waist. Okay, to the belt line. Okay, you go down below that, it's going to be a penalty if you go hit him in the legs. If you go to the head and neck area anywhere, it's going to be a penalty. Okay, the initial contact was made with Trayvon's face mask right into the side of the helmet of Davis Mills. And then on top of that, when you take a quarterback to the ground, you cannot land with your full weight on top of the quarterback. And that's what Trayvon did. So in reality, that could have been called a penalty for two different reasons. So, people, recognize what the rules state. And look, I'm not a fan of the rules. Trust me. I'd love it for it to be old school, to go back to the days like when I used to do it. You fold a quarterback and try to separate his shoulder when you take him down to the ground. Go for the head. Try to take him out of the game. That's not the way you can play today. And Trayvon's got to recognize that. So let's stop with it. This is not a good call in that situation because it was the right call.
All right, William. Appreciate the call. Let's go to Alex in Palm Coast next here on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, guys. I just want to say thank you for everything y'all do. I'm a little starstruck, man. You're up 19 points against a backup quarterback. There's no excuse. I think everybody in that locker room, everybody in that team right now should be a little embarrassed right now, to be quite honest with you. I'm hoping that Dave Campanelli's ripping everybody's asses because that defense there, that was atrocious, to be honest. And I'm just going to take my comments off air after that.
Okay, I don't know if there's a question in their logs, but if you'd like to comment on Alex's position that we should be getting a bunch of guys' butts chewed. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think a lot of guys after that game did not feel very good about themselves, and I don't think they had to have their butts chewed to have that recognized. But when you go down the stretch there as a defense, because that's kind of what he was talking about specifically, when you allow a 13-play drive, and then you allow another drive of 6 plays and a 2-point conversion on that drive, and then you turn around and allow a 14-play drive for 93 yards, you're not feeling very good about anything you did as a defense.
Yep. Alex, though, I think a lot of people share your upset with the defensive performance or lack thereof in the fourth quarter. Appreciate it. I'm sure Anthony Campanelli's made his feelings known on that front. We'll take a timeout here. We'll come back. If you're on the line, we'll get to you straight out of the break on the other side at 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines. Jeff Lageman here with us on a Check the Tape Tuesday. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Apex Roofing and Contracting. The time to get your roof checked out is not when it's pouring outside. You're going to know if your roof is holding up. If your roof's got any kind of damage, if it leaks, if it's just plain worn out or ugly, don't wait. Apex is local, dependable. They're going to show up on time with the most premium materials and ironclad warranties. No shortcuts, no stress, only quality work that you can trust. So skip the storm season scramble and reach for the peak. That's Apex Roofing and Contracting. Go see them in Jacksonville Beach or check them out online at apexroofingfl.com.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service.
Are you ready to upgrade your windows or patio doors? It's the Black Friday sales event going on now at Renewal by Anderson. Buy now and pay nothing until 2027. That's no money down, no payments, and no interest for 2 years. This offer expires November 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Quality work is sometimes hard to come by these days, and if you want quality in a fence that'll last, make the call to Duval. Duval Fence, that is, a good Jacksonville company with good Jacksonville people committed to quality service. If you need a fence for your home, for a business, anything, just call Duval Fence at 260-4747. Give them an idea of what you're looking for, and they'll take care of the rest. Property fence, privacy fence, pool, or pets. Make sure you call Duval Fence today.
It's a Jaguars Today Tuesday, sparked by Julington Creek Pest Control.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Clogged toilet, too much paper, deeper blockages, or one of your child's Hot Wheels could be the culprit. Superior Plumbing and Pipeline and handles toilet clogs fast. If your toilet's clogged, make the superior choice. Learn more at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lot bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Introducing the Jags Stack at Firehouse Subs. A sub so bold, we had to name it after the team that roars. Packed with protein and made to satisfy a football-sized appetite. It's stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, and roast beef. Topped with provolone fresh veggies and our new Duval Drizzle. Order the new Jags Stack in the app right now. Available for limited time at participating Jacksonville Firehouse Subs restaurants. The hottest subs in
Duval! Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
Jarian Jones was sensational over the weekend for the Teal and Black. The Jacksonville cornerback had 4 tackles versus Houston, as well as 2 passes defended, and pitched in an interception on what was an incredible day. Performances like this should give 22 more time on the field, and he's your Superior Fence and Rail's defensive player of the game.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Check the Tape Tuesday with Jeff Lageman is brought to you by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, Jeff Lageman here with us on a Check the Tape Tuesday, as he always is. You've got questions. Jeff has opinions, answers, perspectives, and he'll give them to you right here at 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. He's got a bunch on social media that we'll circle around to as the program goes along as well, including the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. We've got Brian in East Arlington, though, Jeff, up next. Brian, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, fellas. This loss finally pushed me to get that subscription to the All 22 tapes. I could really look at things and evaluate things.
All right.
See it a lot better. But my question for Jeff is, on the touchdown pass to Parker Washington, I know it was third down, but it seemed like he dropped in and there was 3 defenders over in that pocket, yet Trevor locked onto him the entire time and just he threw a really good pass, but it seemed like the pass that wasn't like the good option to go to because there was 3 other there was 3 other receivers in the area that were available, that were wide open, but he chose to force it into that spot in the end zone. I know it was a touchdown, it was a great pass, but it just seemed to me like, I don't know, is that something that Trevor does a lot of times you see in the film, like making those kind of decisions? Because it seems like that's a low percentage play, and why would you choose to go there? Or is that more leading into where he has those interceptions all the time in the end zone?
Well, I think your observation is good. Just that there was a lot of coverage in that area. You actually had you're trying to sneak Parker Washington in behind a shallow zone player, and then get him outside of what is considered a cover 2 safety. And the corner fluffed off, so you really had kind of the front end of the route cut off, and then you had a safety trailing from the backside. Was it a throw that you would like to have seen? Not necessarily, but where Trevor put the ball was actually a good throw because the safety actually overplayed it. So it was almost like a back shoulder throw. And since Parker is the only one that has his eyes back to the quarterback, he was able to make that catch. So, would there have been better options to throw to? Maybe, but it worked. It was a hell of a throw. The ball placement was really well. So it's kind of hard to argue that. But here's the reality: is that I don't know how many receivers make that catch and get their feet in for your quarterback, because that was an amazing job of body control by Parker, and then also an awareness factor of getting those feet down. I think it's one of the best catches I've seen in the NFL this year when it comes to just getting your feet down in bounds. Tremendous.
Oh, Logs, overall, how was Trevor's decision-making and execution in this game?
No, I mean, it could have been better. I mean, look, we're talking about 5 games this year where he's had a quarterback rating below 75. And once again, he was below 75 as a passer. A lot of that was due to some of the pressure. You're facing the number 1 defense, and it's a legit number 1 defense. They've got great players all around. They didn't give Trevor a lot of time, but the reality is also is that, look, when you play a team like that, you've got to speed up your decision making process, and you need to speed up the level of execution, knowing that you're not going to have as much time. And I don't know necessarily if he did that throughout the game. I think there was a couple opportunities that he decided to try to scramble, where if he made subtle adjustments in the pocket and anticipated a little bit more, maybe he could have gotten the ball out. But he's also got to get some help. Those guys up front, I think, got to do a little bit better job on the edges. I think Anton struggled a little bit. Walker Little got hammered. It was a tough day for the guys on the edges, but the reality is that Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. are absolute freaking studs. And you knew that going into the game, and that's why you had the desire to throw the football to kind of keep them off balance. And your quarterback also has to kind of recognize that, be a little bit quicker with the decision making and getting the ball out.
I feel like Daniil Hunter was an equal opportunity embarrasser this week. I thought he got Anton once. I thought he got Walker. He had the loop where he came in between Hainsey and right guard, and he just was basically picking any spot he wanted to and making an impact.
He beat Walker Little so fast on that one. That was kind of an embarrassing play, I think, for Walker. The loop where he came underneath, that's Hainsey. It's a slide protection. The center's got to come off on a 2-man game. As a center, when you're going in slide protection in that direction, that's what you're actually looking for. He didn't see it. Anton, he actually kind of got twice. One of them was a little bit later. But look, he's a great player. I mean, there's a reason why he now has 107 career sacks. There's not many guys that are of that caliber in the history of the game.
No, but he's not going out putting up 3.5. He had 4 total on the season, and which is good. I'm just saying, that was, he's a great player, but you don't have to let that guy have that kind of day either. And unfortunately, they did. All right, we got Jim in Arlington next up with a question here on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning. I'm going to go back to the previous caller about Brendan Strange. Aside from his pass catching ability and blocking ability, do you see him being used more once he gets back to possibly stay in and help out? Because, like you said, that Trevor's on the run. I mean, he's constantly, looking around, trying to get out of things, and it's obvious like the front five just aren't doing it alone. And I don't know if the backs are chipping that well or not when somebody's on a pass rush. And, back to the other caller with Parker Washington, you have 31 dropped balls. How many of those did he drop? Probably not very many. So I think there's a little bit of trust with Trevor and Parker.
Okay.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about the trust that Trevor has in Parker, and any quarterback would have trust in Parker Washington. He does have a couple drops, I believe, on the season. To answer the question about Brenton Strange, I don't want Brenton Strange staying in to help out in protection. That's not making very good use of his skill set. I would rather have a Hunter Long or a Johnny Munn or a Quentin Morris or a LaQuinn Allen Jr. doing that, because Brenton Strange is an excellent receiver, and he also is really good after the catch. So to keep him in is kind of a win for a defense. If you can force the Jaguars offensive coordinators to scheme where Brenton Strange is staying in to help your offensive line, that's a problem. That's a problem for your offense. I think one of the ways to address that is that you look at doing different things up front, whether that's making some changes in lineup, or whether that's rotating guys in a different fashion. I would not be surprised if there's something that's done this week in that regard.
Who would you be the guy you're taking a look at? Like if they said, Jeff, what's one change you would make on this offensive line to at least try to potentially improve the blocking?
Well, what's the status of Ezra Cleveland, I think, is the first part of that you need to kind of look at. But you guys know that I'm a big fan of Wyatt Milam. I wouldn't hesitate to allow him to get some snaps at guard if Ezra Cleveland is not ready to go. And the reason I say that is that I would probably put Cole Van Lannon in at left tackle.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. That's where I thought you might be headed with it. But we got to take a time out here again. If you're on the line, a little patience. We will get to you in the order you called in with Jeff Lageman on a Check the Tape Tuesday. We'll be back in just a moment with more of your questions for Logs right here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. It's a coast-to-coast connection as the Lightning Bolts travel 2,400 miles from Southern California to North Florida, Santa Monica Pier to Jack's Beach. LA has Lightning Bolts, but Jacksonville has Jungle Thunder. Jaguars, Chargers. Sunday at 1 on the home of the Jaguars. 1010XL.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for the Jaguars and proud member of Jacksonville's newest orthopedic dream team. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we brought together 10 board-certified fellowship-trained surgeons, each one a specialist in their field, all working together to deliver smarter, faster care with better results. From sports injuries to joint replacements, we've got the right player for every position. Visit osjax.com and meet your team. That's osjax.com.
It's Jaguars Today Tuesday. Protected by Julington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Learn everything you need to know about the Jaguars on Duval Rundown. I'm Hayes Carlyon. Join me each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning at 9:04. You can find Duval Rundown on all the social channels of 1010XL.
Driven by Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
Resto Pros!
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
Resto Pros!
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to RestoProsAnyFlorida.com. That's RestoProsAnyFlorida.com.
Resto Pros!
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Eye & Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit Bowden9.com for a free screening. Bowden9 Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to our website, CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com. And let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Awaken 180 weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss. Hacker here, and I recently celebrated a birthday with friends and family, and a lot of photos were taken. And you go on Facebook and you look, and you have those memories of years past on the same day. And I saw pictures of myself from 2 years ago. I couldn't believe it. I absolutely couldn't believe it. That's back when I was over 300 pounds. I mean, I was in a bad spot in life with my weight. And now here we are, my birthday in 2025, down over 100 pounds, keeping the weight off. I look like a completely different human being. I can't tell you how many times I'm told that pretty much on a daily basis by people who haven't seen me in quite some time. Go to awaken180weightloss.com, awaken180weightloss.com. I'm living proof. If you want to drop the weight, Awaken 180 Weight Loss is your answer. 844-346-1800.
Jeff Lageman for Napa Auto Care Centers. This football season, make sure your ride can get to that tailgate or travel to the away game safely and dependably. You can trust the ASE certified professionals at any one of the 29 independently owned Napa Auto Care Centers and the quality Napa parts they use. Napa Auto Care Centers can handle everything: oil changes, air conditioning, brakes, engines, transmissions. Napa Auto Care Centers offers a nationwide 24-month, 24,000-mile peace of mind warranty on most repairs. Find one near you at jacksnapaautocare.group.com.
Hey, Duval, here's your chance to be face-to-face with the Jags as they take the field on game day. Jump in the shadows and experience the Jaguars like never before. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows for your chance to be part of the action. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C., 18 and older. Entry periods for the sweepstakes are from 8/4/25 to 12/21/25. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank, N.A. member FDIC.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Jeff Lageman Tuesday
is brought to you by
Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, checking the tape on this Tuesday. A little more clinical on Tuesday, Tony. I don't have to live in my emotions like I did yesterday, which is probably good for all out there. They were not happy emotions yesterday, that's for sure. How do you feel today, and what would you like to know from Jeff's film study? 641-1010 on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines, the most direct way to get on the program. We'll go, Jeff, next to Sean on the south side here on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Sean.
Hey, morning. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I got a little smoke for Liam. I just feel like, us being up that big, we didn't run the ball enough. At least I felt like we didn't run the ball enough to kind of, close out the game. And, you're going against the number one defense, and, you got Trevor Lawrence as your quarterback. I mean, me personally, I don't trust him. Maybe he still got a lot of trust in him, but I just feel we weren't running the ball enough. And then two, I don't know what's up with this, going for two, all the time. I felt like we had no, reason to go for two in that moment. We should have just kicked the extra point, and maybe the game would have been, went into overtime. So that's my take, Jeff. Thanks for taking my call.
All right, thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. Logs.
I'm starting to wonder what kind of smoke was he talking about there for Liam.
Hey, now.
But anyway, I thought they had enough balance in that game. I do. Look, you had I think it was about 22 called runs in that game. I think Trevor ended up attempting 23 passes, but then he had the scrambles in there. So I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was a game that they needed to run more. I just think they needed to be more efficient. Now you go back. Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember the game that they played prior to the Rams game, the Seattle game. I thought that they could have stuck with the run game more. So I think if you were talking about that game, I would agree with you. Um, but I mean, the reality is that that's the number one defense in the National Football League. It's not easy to do anything. It's not easy to run. It's not easy to pass. It's not easy to do anything because they're good across the board. So I don't know if there's any easy answers with, even hindsight to change the offensive game plan other than you need to execute better when given the opportunity, and the execution wasn't great. You go back to, when they had a 19-point lead, you, the Texans ended up scoring, right? So here now you got a chance to respond, and I sat here and I made some notes on that particular drive. You have actually, I think, a pretty good run on first down, and then you have a second and fairly manageable. So you're thinking, okay, now we got them on their heels. We can run it, we can pass it, and that's the drop back pass that Walker Little got smoked. And then a next play on third and very long, and that was a three-man game. And Trevor's got, I think, get the ball out in a little bit quicker fashion on a three-man game. It takes time for Daniil Hunter to loop all the way underneath and to make that, to keep your eyes down the field, shuffle a little bit wherever you need to go, and get that ball out of there somehow. So, so I mean, there were some things that they could have done better offensively. Let's go to the next possession that they had. I mean, you had the ball at the minus 45. This is after the Texans scored the second time. You still got the lead. I mean, you got the ball at the minus 45. Bashal Tootin kick return, outstanding, right? And then you got a third and 4, and it looks like there's a little confusion on that play for some reason. Then you get a batted pass by Al Shire. I mean, look, and you got to be better in that situation. You got to be better as an offense. You got to make better plays. And let's go to the play before the half where you left points out there when you ended up having the interception by Stingley Jr. That ball was thrown behind the receiver. Put it out in front. Then all of a sudden you don't have a one-handed grab. Now it's a great interception. I mean, great interception. But put the ball out in front so that your receiver, Austin Trammell, doesn't have to slow down. And then Stingley Jr. has zero chance at making that interception.
No, I agree. The only one thing on the that first drive you're talking about in the fourth quarter, they did run for 5. When Daniil Hunter beat Little, that was actually a running play, and he stopped ETN 4 yards in the backfield. So, but it's same impact, right? I mean,
same impact.
It was whether it was a sack or a run.
That one was probably
the clock
worse.
Was still running. Go ahead.
Yeah, that one was probably worse, just because it's an offensive tackle. I mean, it's a run play, right? I mean, you're not trying to run outside. Okay. And so I'm glad you reminded me of this, because I wrote the notes down. I couldn't remember exactly the place. So now you've reminded me. So you're not trying to run outside. So there's no reason that you need to gain any width, right? It's an inside run. So just stay inside out. Well, Daniil Hunter actually powers underneath Walker Little. Now, if you're going to make a tackle for a loss for minus 4 yards, and you're playing what I call a go 6 end. Okay, so you're outside the tackle wide. I'm not talking like on the outside shoulder, outside tackle, and you're a little wider. And then you can power underneath of your tackle and then make a tackle for a 4-yard loss. That's bad.
I agree. I mean, like, regardless, and Tony brought this up yesterday, it's not like they didn't run. I mean, the totality of it, I'm surprised ETN only got 7 carries in the second half. But the Jags had 2 possessions in the third quarter. They scored on both of them, right? So you do get into that fourth quarter, and you did start out with a 5-yard run, and then the play we're just talking about was another attempt to run on second down. So now you got to throw on third and long, and you get sacked on that play.
Yeah.
Next drive, Trevor did drop back, but he ended up scrambling, and he ran out of bounds, which you'd like to keep the clock moving at that point in time. But then ETN runs it on second down. And then you got the one where you talk about where Al Shire batted it down because it's 3rd and 4. And
yeah, 3rd and 4 is the only other chance they would have had to choose to run instead of pass.
And you're not picking up 4 yards a clip. You haven't been at that point.
And that's that 3rd and 4 that Al Shire got a batted pass. I'm not in the meetings. I don't see the play design. It did not look right to me. That the spacing, the route spacing was right. Something looked amiss. Just saying. I don't know for sure on that.
Gotcha.
But it did not look right.
All right, halfway home on a Check the Tape Tuesday. Hang in there. I promise you we're taking them as they come in with Jeff Lageman. Just want to dig into some of these questions a little bit so Jeff can give his full knowledge of what he observed when checking out the tape from this weekend's unfortunate loss to the Houston Texans. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark, and Jeff Lageman on a Check the Tape Tuesday on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Pella Windows and Doors. Look, it's beautifully cool outside, but you don't want that to be the case inside. So I got a challenge for you. Go stand next to your windows. Do you feel that cool draft? If so, you need Pella. The experts at Pella Windows and Doors can easily fix that with energy-efficient windows to keep the drafty air out, saving you money every single month. How does 0% interest for 60 months sound? Well, go to PellaJacks.com. You can schedule a free home energy checkup. That's PellaJacks.com. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows and tell them you heard my challenge on 1010XL.
Some people just can't get enough football.
Could we cut to the chase?
It's the Terminix Kickoff Show, live from Tailgaters Parking, 5 hours before kickoff. Presented by Campione Law and American Electrical Contracting on 1010XL.
Their sound shaped music for generations to come. Toto, live. One special night with hit after hit. March 2nd at St. Augustine Amphitheater. On sale now at AXS.com. Don't miss an evening with Toto, live.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Andersen Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When pests invade your home or business, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, they'll show up for you and eliminate pests quicker, just like they did at my house, because they care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. That's right, Terminix it.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 11th, 1992, Shaquille O'Neal made his NBA debut for the Orlando Magic against the Miami Heat. He would tally 12 points, 18 rebounds, and 3 blocks.
Jeff Prosser here for Lloyd's Heating and Air. Need a leader for commercial, retail, multifamily, or hospitality projects? Or top-tier residential service? No gimmicks, no mascots, just real expertise and hard work. As your trusted statewide mechanical partner and local family-owned team, Lloyd's is the name Northeast Florida counts on. Visit LloydsHeatingandAir.com. Lloyd's Heating and Air, keeping you comfortable in every season.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Bring your marketing to the next level with 3D Digital, your local video production and digital marketing agency that specializes in ensuring your brand story is seen, heard, and remembered. Our award-winning team creates professional content that will be launched across multiple platforms to precisely target your audience. Call us at 904-712-4004 or visit 3ddigital.com to define, design, and deliver exceptional results for your business.
Now the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
You always need clutch plays when in Clutch City, and Parker Washington made sure to live up to that billing. In the second quarter, the Jacksonville returner would bring back the Houston punt 73 yards for a touchdown, giving the squad a 17-0 lead with 11:40 left in the quarter. The Washington score is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Hi folks, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting, repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Running a small business is tough, so the Florida Small Business Development Center at UNF provides a free business checkup, a personalized analysis that helps you boost profits, your online presence, and increase your company's value. No cost, no strings attached. It's guidance from experts who understand what it takes to succeed in business. Whether you're just starting out or ready to expand, it's time to act. Complete a request for consulting at unf.edu/SBDC.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Hicken here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
Here's your 1010XL local sports update, sponsored by Baker Glass. Head coach Liam Cohen commented on his team being snake-bitten twice by backup QBs.
There's definitely a frustration there. It's obviously gotten us twice.
1010XL is inviting all members of the military, active or retired, to String Sports Brewery, Jack's Beach, for a free lunch or dinner, compliments of the Firewatch Project. Join the Frangie Show live from 4 to 6. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
At 11:02, it's 47 degrees. Time at 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler. Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Jeff Lageman Tuesday
is brought to you by
Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, Jeff Lageman along with us. Tony Smith, Mike Dempsey, Dylan Denmark here with you. And phone lines have been loaded up all morning. Logs. They have questions. We know you have answers. So let's get back out to it with Frank in San Marco. Next up on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Frank.
Hey, good morning. Big fan of yours, Jeff. I remember how you rushed the passer. A comment and a question. I think when it was 29-10, I really got the feeling from looking at the Jaguars sideline that they got this. They got this game. I don't think there was too many people on the sideline thinking, let's make it 36-10. Let's make it 43-10. So that's that killer instinct. But my question, Jeff, is this. If you take the personnel that you have and you know what they can do, your front four, I mean, and you let them move right down the field, and your goal is to really put pressure on the quarterback, just telling him to do better, I don't know if that's going to work as much as finding a scheme that puts Josh or Eric or somebody in a better position. I think when Eric got his sack, they did a crossing pattern for the tackle. So I'm just wondering if there's a scheme. If you were the defensive line coach, do you think you could scheme a four-man rush with the personnel that you have that would get more pressure on the quarterback? And I'll take it off the air. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate the kind comments, Frank. Look, I think there's a lot of things that can be better with this defense. And I'm not saying that I have all the answers. I'm just saying performance-wise. And I think the first thing from a pass rush standpoint that I would like to see is just better get off. That's the one thing I think that the great pass rushers have, is that when the ball is snapped, that the defensive linemen time it right. And when you have that in your arsenal, in your toolbox, you can threaten the upfield, you can threaten the upfield shoulder, and it puts offensive linemen kind of on their heels. And that's the one area that we're not very good at. We're not very good at the get off. And I'm not talking about just, at home, but also on the road. It's not like Davis Mills was using a lot of hard count or cadence to kind of keep the Jaguars off balance. You really didn't see any of that. And so I think that would be number one. I think there is opportunity there where you can do some more games. But the biggest thing is that you have to have everybody on the same page. And there were a couple instances in the game where there was, I don't want to say confusion, but there was uncertainty in what kind of rush plans were there. So in other words, if you're running a TE, then everybody needs to know you're running a TE, which a TE, for people that don't know, it's a tackle and end game. The first letter is always first. So TE, tackle, loops up the field into that B gap, and second guy, TE, loops underneath. It's kind of like exactly the sack that Daniil Hunter got, Mike. That was a TE, and typically into a three-man rush, it's a no chance of making it work, but they made it work. I think those games and awareness of what you're doing so that the other side can adjust. Because if you're running a TE on one side, you want to make sure that you don't have a game on the other side that is you want to have somebody that's aware that can make sure that they got the middle taken care of. So, I mean, there's a lot of awareness things that can be better, but to go down the list, I've kind of made a list. And the three drives that the Jaguars had defensively of just some problems that they had on those three drives down the stretch once the game was at 29-10. The first drive, you had Devin Lloyd out of a gap, and it resulted in a 19-yard run by Chubb. If Devin doesn't kind of take a guess and go, then he has an opportunity at making the play. You got Trayvon, who was unblocked, not able to bring Davis Mills down, unblocked. Okay, I know you got one hand with a cast on it, but look, man, you got two hands. You're unblocked. You got to make it. 4th and 2. You remember the 4th and 2, Mike? They called a timeout before the play, right? The Jaguars did on defense to make sure that they got the right kind of call.
Right.
Dave Mills had two guys open on that play. Literally, he got the guy that he threw the ball to, but then there's another guy running on the other side completely wide open, and it's man coverage. You had a breakdown in coverage right there. And then on the 3rd and 10, you gave up a 12-yard touchdown to Higgins in a zone. And it wasn't just a zone, it was a 3-man rush, eight-man zone. And so you didn't even have any relation to the route concepts on that. So that's just the first drive. The second drive, Texans got the ball in great field position, almost right at midfield. Nico makes a great catch on that 22-yarder. I called it the Nico sandwich in the broadcast. You had Devin Lloyd, and then I believe it was the safety on the other side.
Antonio Johnson or
Wingard.
Okay.
So I called it the Nico sandwich. I mean, great catch. And then on the 3rd and 3, you remember one of the 7, and when Davis Mills literally not only had all day, he might have had enough time to throw 2 passes on that 3rd and 3 on the touchdown to Schultz. There was zero pressure on that. So I mean, there's so many opportunities. Let's go to the last drive the Texans had. You had a 3rd and 10, and Foyer's got Dalton Schultz and man-to-man. Doesn't do a very good job. Devin has another guess. He's out of his gap. And it was a play that Eric Armstead had a double team and gave himself up once the guard came off and goes down to the ground instead of trying to stay up and fight. He goes down, and then you get the 2-yard line. We talked earlier about the penalties that backed him up to 2nd and 14 and 3rd and 14. I mean, just so many different. I mean, you sit there and all of those plays are opportunities to win the game. And that's the part I think that's very frustrating, is that you had so many different opportunities on both sides of the ball.
All right. Thank you, Frank, for the call. Let's go to Ben in Arlington next on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Ben.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Question for Jeff. I noticed Liam Cohen talking in his interview saying, that Trevor missed some big plays, one to Parker Washington, the other to forget the other receiver's name, but
Diami.
Diami. There's the 2 massive plays there he missed, and then as a Jaguar fan, I mean, should we be concerned with the quarterback play? I did notice that we did get the 10 points off of turnovers, and then we had Parker run that back. That's 17 points. Am I missing something here, or should we be worried about the quarterback position? What do you think? I'm just.
Well, I think we need to be better. I mean, what do you want to call that, worried? I mean, you can call it worried, I guess. I mean, but you got to be better. I mean, you have to be better if you're going to win, because here's the reality. What happens if you don't get those takeaways? Let's say it's just you end up getting no takeaways, no great advantage on field position. And let's say you didn't get a punt return, which was amazing. Could you have scored any points?
They didn't need to move it very far to get those first 17. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's just my point is that, look, you got to start getting the offense going, and a big part of that is the quarterback. And look, your running game has been pretty strong. Your commitment to the running game has been pretty strong, and Etienne is giving you great effort and excellent production, I think. I think the challenge for this team is to figure out, okay, how do we make it better? And then also, how do we make it better and really let's close the door on the Texans game. Okay, recognize it, swallow it, eat it. Okay, so that we feel it, and then move on. Because if you don't do that, now you're going to have the Texans cloud kind of following you against a really good team in the Chargers. And I'm talking, here comes a really good defense again. And so you better get some things kind of corrected. You better start working on some things to get more timely and more efficient. And I know that they talked about last week, they had a really good week of practice, felt really good about their passing game in practice. And that's great. But again, here comes another good defense. You need to, just like us here, we're kind of frustrated by that game. A lot of people are frustrated by that game, but the reality is that as fans, we can stay frustrated until we see the next game. But as a player and as a coach, you don't have time to do that. You've got to put it behind you and you got to start moving forward like right now.
All right. Appreciate the call again. If you're on the line, stay there. We keep running through as many as we can with Jeff Lageman. We'll have a 10-10 take, and we'll go around the league as well as we continue on throughout the second hour of the program today with Jeff Lageman. This is Check the Tape Tuesday on Jaguars Today here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Game day doesn't end after the game. It's not complete without the window world of Northeast Florida fifth quarter with hacker Leon and Coach Gerald Ingram. Flavored by Hurricane Grill and Wings and Apex Roofing and Contracting on 1010XL.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. With over 1,700 five-star Google reviews, it was a no-brainer to have Closets by Design help us get organized at home. They create custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms and more. Closets by Design will transform clutter into seamless organization. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation before the holidays and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation. 18-month financing is available. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Jaguars Today Tuesday is serviced by Jolington Creek Pest Control.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
There's a key that opens a very special door. The Jaguars locker room. Go in the locker room with Hayes Carline to get closer to the Jags. Unlocked by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Introducing the Jag Stack at Firehouse Subs. So bold, it's named after the home team. Stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, roast beef, provolone, fresh veggies, and the new Duval drizzle sauce. For a limited time at your local Firehouse Subs, there's only one hottest sub in Duval.
Bueller,
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Jason, I called you about the ductwork in my attic this summer, and you totally blew me off.
I did.
My airflow is too low and my bills are too high.
I know.
There's stains on my ceiling tiles and sweating around the vents, and the mice have chewed so many holes in the ducts, I think they're getting more AC than I am.
I know.
Then how could you let me suffer all summer, Jason?
Because summer is the one time of year I just can't send my technician into someone's steaming hot attic. They'd kill me. Ductwork is hot, cramped work at the best of times. Lucky for you, those best of times are in November.
You mean like now?
Bueller Air and Plumbing can repair your old, damaged, or just plain sketchy ductwork right now when it's not too hot and not too cold.
And none of your technicians will kill you.
It's a win-win.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Jewelington Creek Pest Control has been serving our community since 1984. Our turf management program is an all-out blitz, granular fertilization, weed and insect control, keeping your lawn championship green all year. Quarterly pest control stops bugs before they ever cross your goal line. Family owned, locally operated, expert technicians, top quality products, no gimmicks, just winning results. Jewelington Creek Pest Control, our family serving yours since 1984.
You've got a circle of friends, right? Well, how about a circle of beer? All your favorites like Bud Light, Bud Heavy, Mick Ultra, or Natty Light. It's all there in the cold case at Circle K. Probably one right around the corner right now calling your name. Slide on in to a Circle K.
Are you ready to upgrade your windows or patio doors? It's the
Black Friday sales event going on now at Renewal by Anderson. Buy now and pay nothing until 2027. That's no money down, no payments, and no interest for 2 years. This offer expires November 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
How do you know that your roof is ready for the next big storm? You don't. That's why you need to call me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We'll assess your roof and fix those issues before they become storm disasters. Visit BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roofing quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
Hey, Hicken here for Zero Res. It's Thanksgiving time, man. But listen, don't deal with the toughest gravy, cranberry sauce, or pumpkin pie disasters. Let the cleaning freaks do it. Get back to clean. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $149. A 4th room free with a canned food donation. Ideally, a full bag of cans, not just 1 or 2. Also, take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Call my friend Zero Res right now, 28757, or go online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and say you want the 1010 special. Zero Res, spell it backwards and forwards. It spells the same.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite roofing contractor lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjacks.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Jeff Lageman Tuesday is serviced by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark here at the 1010XL studios. Logs on location, joining us for a Check the Tape Tuesday. Guys, before we get back to these phone calls, let's let Jeff weigh in with today's 1010 Take.
1010 Take. Now, Mike Dempsey's 1010 Take. Brightened up by First Coast Paint. Simply superior paint.
All right, Logs, I don't write them. The fans are going to ask the question in the way they're going to ask them. So I'm going to pass it along in its original form, and you can make of it what you will. This is from Jag in Barcelona. Jag from Barcelona, okay? Is it time to admit we totally lost the Tyson Campbell trade? What is your take on what Newsome is actually bringing to the table? So the way I'd ask it, has Greg Newsome played well? What are you seeing from him? What did you see this week? But weigh in how you see fit.
You know, I don't think he had a great game this week. I think in an instance, one play in particular, he probably needed a little bit of help from the safety, Antonio Johnson, on a quarters concept. So a lot of times people sit there and go, "Oh, it was Greg. It was Greg." Well, part of that was Greg, but also part of that he's got to get a little help from inside out. But I mean, what I say that the Jaguars have won that trade, I don't think they've won that trade, but I don't know if they necessarily lost that trade either. I think one of the biggest things that was involved in that trade was, is the level of pay at the level of play. And if you looked at the performance of Tyson up until that point, did his performance equal the level of pay that he was getting? And I think that they felt that that wasn't where it was at. And they felt it was an opportunity at the time. Greg Newsome was actually rated higher than Tyson. If you looked at just like PFF, for example, but then again, if you look at PFF right now, Tyson is rated higher than Greg Newsome. So, I don't know if anybody won in that one, Mike, but I think the salary cap issue on that one, I think the Jaguars feel like that they got the better end of the deal on that, just from that perspective.
All right, there you go. Back to the lines we go. Darren's been hanging on the longest. Darren, you're on Jaguars Today. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm still kind of nauseated from the Sunday, but I'll get through this if I can. Jeff, in the fourth quarter, which is obviously the collapse, is where I wanted to focus on. I feel like I would have loved to have seen Liam called a couple of quarterback draws to slow down that pass rush or done something in that nature. It seemed like all of the passing plays were all straight back drops, which the guys were just teeing off on our offensive linemen. So I would have loved to see maybe a couple of quarterback draws. And then I'm wondering if you think that overall the players that we have out, all of the injuries on offense and defense, and then the 2 trades that we've made in the last 3 weeks, has that upset the apple cart to the point that where we are? Because I see this coming Sunday as a must-win. Can you imagine what the stadium would have been like if both teams had been 7-2 coming in this? So I'll hang up and listen, guys. I'm trying to keep the faith. Love you guys.
I appreciate it. Though they would have been 6-3, the Jags coming in if they won. But whatever. Go ahead, Jeff. What do you want to?
The question he said, I wish we would have seen some quarterback drills. They actually had one called, but there was a penalty on the play, and so they weren't able to execute it. And
that looked like it was going to go for a big play too, didn't it?
It was going to be really good.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously you can't go back after the penalty and say, okay, we're going to run the same thing. So didn't go back to it. What was the other question that he had about the other part of it before he got to the Chargers game?
I think we all did. It all escaped us right there. Yeah. How do you deal with this epidemic of penalties though? Because it's not just one thing. It's not just like they're false starting every time. It's a combination of things that are killing them. They had a touchdown of Jacoby Myers taken off. Now, granted, they scored again on that drive. That was the Parker Washington touchdown, I believe. But Jeff, it's like in every corner of the team. How do you weed this out? Does this not fall on Liam Cohen and the coaching staff? I know the players have to be responsible for it, but how do you deal with this seemingly epidemic of sloppy play?
Well, I mean, I kind of classified penalties into 2 categories. You got the ones that are aggressive that look, they can happen, and then the ones that are mental, false starts, illegal motions. I mean, to me, those are mental errors in the penalty category department. Like for example, Chuma Edoga, the hands to the face. I mean, look, it can happen. It can happen. I hate to say that, it can happen. The hold on Van Lanen, it can happen. He was moving his feet. I don't understand why the officials called that one per se. The interference on Jari and Jones, I thought was, what are we doing? I mean, you had almost and I actually in the broadcast said that they just called Christian Kirk for a legitimate push off, because Kirk does push off, extends his arm, and then Jarian's kind of got the one arm pinned a little bit, but I don't think he's like holding it down viciously or anything. So it's kind of a couple of them I'm okay with, and that's just part of playing the game. It's the mental ones that drive me crazy, and I don't think they had as many of them on Sunday as they have had in previous games.
On the Chuma Edoga hands to the face, we talked with Leon yesterday. It seemed like, by the time he put his hands in position to get that penalty, Trevor had already slipped out the door and was rolling right, and he could have just let his guy go. And Leon's like, this is something that you talk about in the huddle, like what the play design is, and make sure you don't do this kind of thing. I mean, was that just in the unfortunate category, or is that something that you just can't have happen in that circumstance?
Well, I mean, you don't want it to happen, obviously, in that circumstance, because it's a critical moment. In critical moments, you always want to be clean. And as an offensive lineman, if the hands kind of go up a little bit, you do have an opportunity to kind of pull it away and then get it back down. But I don't think Chuma had any awareness whatsoever that his hands were up in the face mask area, because he was kind of protesting after the call in a very demonstrative way, because he didn't feel like that was a penalty. But when you watch the replay, it clearly was. So, yeah, I mean, in critical moments like that, you definitely have conversations in the huddle about, hey, let's keep it clean, no mistakes, let's go. The quarterback can say that, or somebody else can say that in the huddle.
All right, Tone.
Yeah, I think it was must win. Was the first part of the call must win against the Chargers this week, he feels.
I don't think that there's anything that is must win at this point, but I think it's a very important game just for the psyche of this team. You've lost 3 out of your last 4. This one was a heartbreaker because it was a collapse, and then you add into the mix out of those last 4 games, you had a game that you weren't even in it. The game in London, you weren't even in that game against the Rams. So out of the last 4 games, you've got one that's a heartbreaker, and 2 of them is a heartbreaker just from the standpoint you weren't even in that game, and it was a terrible effort on that game. So that's this football team needs to play better, and look, they've played pretty well at home besides that Seattle game, and they need to get back to being kind of that physical brand of football team and finishing games out. And defense, they better get better, and the quarterback has got to get better as well.
All right, we move on to Bruce in Mandarin next on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning. Hey, Jeff, thanks for taking my call. Got a question for you. In the Cincinnati game, the Vegas game, and the Houston game, the fourth quarter, game on the line, they allow subpar quarterbacks to sit in clean pockets and work their way down the field to score touchdowns. Why don't the Jaguars send blitz packages in the fourth quarter when their front four aren't getting home and are very tired in the long game?
Well, you do. I mean, they've actually mixed it up. I mean, and I'll give you an example, Bruce. I mean, that last drive that they had, I think it was the last drive where it was the 3rd and 10, and you had the completion to Dalton Schultz. That was a 5-man blitz where you had Foye Luakin in man coverage on the tight end. It didn't work. I mean, the quarterback could actually get the ball out before the pressure even got there, and the pressure was coming. They were actually winning on that blitz. So look, it's not just the blitz stuff that they need to win on and they need to do and be successful at it, but the reality is that when you blitz, you now are sending someone extra up front. So that means you're taking somebody out of the coverage on the back end. So it's give and take, and sometimes it's the old term, pick your poison, right? You want to send an extra guy in pressure, or do you want to have that extra guy in coverage? The reality is you need to do a little bit of everything, and you need to be pretty good at a little bit of everything. And when you're not dominant up front, like the Texans or like other teams like Seattle, then you have to be able to mix it up and be good at a little bit of everything. And right now, the Jaguars are struggling. They are struggling to find the ability to generate pressure on the quarterback. And I'm not talking about just sacks. I'm talking about pressure. Pressure means moving him off of the spot, changing his delivery, and sacks. It's all of the above, and right now that's been a problem.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny with the way that call started. I don't think you can notice whether or not they're blitzing when they're not getting pressure when they do it, Jeff. It's not like they're not trying it. They're just bad at it. Like, whatever they're trying to do to pressure the quarterback, none of it's resulting in pressures. I think that they have blitzed enough here in these games. They're not effective doing anything that they're trying to get to the quarterback.
No, and they actually have in the last 2 games too. They've tried some different stuff. And for example, they've reduced Trayvon, so they've kicked him down inside to go along with Armstead, and then they moved Dennis Gardeck as an edge rusher. And so Josh and Gardeck is your edge rushers, Trayvon and Armstead is your 2 inside guys, and seeing a little bit more of that. And I think that's been good because I think Gardeck gives you a player that really plays hard, that's got some pass rush ability, and that might be their best 4 guys. But the reality is that it's always nice to have more than just 4 that can rush the passer. The Texans are very unique in that they have 2 edge rushers that can damn near play every snap of the game and be effective throughout the entire game. They don't need rotation. And that's very unique, and it's very uncommon.
Yeah, by the way, you barely rotated Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker. Each of them played over 80% of the snaps this week. They just weren't that E-word effective the way that the Texans were. In fact, Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter played significantly fewer snaps than Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker in this game, and had
percentage-wise or just snaps?
Percentage-wise and total, both. The Jags were in the 80s. These guys were in the mid-70s. The Jags guys played over 60 snaps. They were in the mid-40s. That's because of how many snaps each team had.
Exactly.
But percentage-wise, they were lower. Total snaps, they were significantly lower. Impact, significantly higher, however.
They're elite players. And Will Anderson, that's kind of surprised me because Will Anderson usually does not come off the field.
Yeah, he's been, I'm looking at his numbers this year. He's been consistently in the mid 70%, like 75% every week. It seems like he doesn't come off, right? But
because he's so damn good.
3 out of 4 snaps, though, man. That's playing a lot. But the Jags now are at the point where they're playing Hines Allen and Trayvon 80+% of the snaps because they don't have that guy to rotate in there and have any kind of impact. At least that's what it feels like. Bruce, we appreciate your call as well. Got more on the line. We'll get to you coming up, and we'll take you around the league as well with Tony Smith. Jeff Lageman here on a Check the Tape Tuesday on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. The cooler weather is usually welcomed by many, particularly when you got a little warm breakfast sandwich to get you started on a chilly morning, get your day kicked off right. Mike Dempsey for Dandy Foods. They can't wait to have me talk about their newest product. So let me tell you about the Twin Pack Cinnamon Swirl and Country Sausage, ready to go in under a minute in the microwave. You get that sweet taste first, then the salty kicks in, and trust me, they're delicious and addicting. And you get a nice hearty portion weighing it at 7 ounces. You're going to find them at your local daily stores all over town, as you'll find all kinds of Dandy products. Great lunch and dinner menu, of course, with sandwiches and subs, protein packs, veggie trays, fruit cups, gourmet salads, light lunchtime wraps, a little something for everybody. But go try that Twin Pack Cinnamon Swirl and Country Sausage and change up your breakfast routine. The most important meal of the day when you're looking for it in Duval, Dandy's the name to know. So do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy. Do it today.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Offense, defense, special teams.
Offense, defense, and special teams all contribute.
We got ourselves a roster.
After the game, pump up the Superior Plumbing Special Teams Player of the Game.
They got to match eye attention.
On 1010XL.
Hun, look in the backyard. Is that oil coming out of the ground?
What? Oil?
Yeah, we've struck it rich.
When was the last time we had our septic tank pumped?
Ooh, crap. That's not oil.
Exactly.
Is it time to pump out your septic tank? Call Duck Duck Rooter. Their professional septic service removes sludge that can cause costly emergencies. Don't delay. Call Duck Duck Rooter today.
When you're stuck, call the duck. DuckDuckRooter.com.
The halfway point is hit in pro football, and that means the stakes will be even higher the second half of the season. Joe C. for Hard Rock Bet, and it's time to push for the playoffs and time to cash in on the big ball games. Player props, team totals, playoffs galore. And don't forget about Saturday. So many big games. Don't miss out. Get the party started on the Hard Rock Bet app. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Jaguars Today Tuesday, kept pest-free by Julington Creek Pest Control.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save up to 20% on roof replacements and repairs now through November 13th. Financing available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust.
License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Hey, Jags fans, Tommy Mack here. Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with Crown Royal Rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with generous spirit. Visit crownroyal.com/Royal Rig on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Tuesday, November 11th is Veterans Day, and we'll be honoring those who have served our nation all day and night at String Sports Brewery in Jacks Beach with a free barbecue sandwich, side, and a beer. That's for all veterans and active duty military members anytime on Veterans Day. Plus, our show's going to be there live from 4 to 6. So thanks to our friends at the Firewatch for putting this on. So come out and hang out with us and honor veterans. That's at Strings on Veterans Day, November 11th.
Bring your marketing to the next level with 3D Digital, your local video production and digital marketing agency that specializes in ensuring your brand story is seen, heard, and remembered. Our award-winning team creates professional content that will be launched across multiple platforms to precisely target your audience. Call us at 904-712-4004 or visit 3ddigital.com to define, design, and deliver exceptional results for your business.
Jacksonville, are you ready? The college basketball season is tipping off soon with an epic in-state showdown. The defending national champion Florida Gators and the Miami Hurricanes go head-to-head in the Jacksonville Hoop Showdown. Be there Sunday, November 16th at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena and witness this in-state rivalry live. Secure your seats now at Ticketmaster.com. It's Florida versus Miami right here at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, November 16th. Ticketmaster.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Hey, no need to cool down. I had that little snowflake indicator on my dash this morning, Tony. Some would say that's because I'm a snowflake, I guess. That's like the insult to the last, 5 years or so.
It's around.
It's a little more than that.
I know it has been around for a while, but first time I saw it on my dash, it apparently thinks it snows when it's 37 degrees out in Florida, or anywhere for that matter. It's got to be 32 degrees to snow, right?
Correct.
Doesn't it? Or below? If you're going to freeze up.
According to the
temperature at which water freezes. Yes.
Right. So, I'm not exactly a scientist, meteorologist guy, Tone, but I know a couple of things. Basic stuff. Right, Logs, we got one here on the line that will go around the league here quickly. George in Mandarin's got a thought or question for you. George, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
I still hope one day we're going to hear the truth about the Tyson Campbell trade, because we were basically 5-0 if not for a rip-off call from the Bengals guy. And, 14 turnovers, just win on one of our biggest wins ever on national TV. And I just don't think it was right to upset the apple cart at that moment. We could have did that later, but not at that time. And then Jeff, when Jeff called out the amount of, I didn't even realize it, the 13 play, 14 play, this is all in one quarter. This Campanile has got to be called out. He has got to get up on the press conference and take ownership, because it's not mad. Nobody was mad. You know why they weren't mad? Because they were embarrassed. Anybody in the world would be embarrassed of what just happened. If you told us we were going to be scoring 29 points and be up by 19 points going into the fourth quarter without Brian Thomas Jr., without Travis Hunter, without Jordan Lewis, without Eric Murray, if you would have told us that, everybody would have bet their whole world on that. But no, it was the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen of any team I've rooted for in my life. And somebody needs to tell the truth about Tyson Campbell and call Campanile out.
George, what do you think that this mysterious truth is? I
don't know.
Well, how do you know that there is something then?
Well, because they would show the pictures of him sitting, in the meeting. He'd be sitting by himself. I don't know. Maybe
he was sitting right. The picture they showed at that time, he was sitting right next to Trevor Lawrence, like literally next to Trevor Lawrence. Logs.
The only thing that was wild about that was actually he had a Cleveland Indians hat.
Yes.
When they were showing
and
some of the pictures of him.
And I think that's why they showed the picture. But literally in that, he's sitting in the seat next to Trevor Lawrence.
That's not why they showed the picture.
I understand that, but I think that's what George is indicating. It's not like we had a bunch of pictures of Tyson Campbell sitting alone in the meeting.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah, I think it's they believed then that they were going to get a better cornerback with less obligation from a salary cap standpoint, and a player that could play the ball better. Where Tyson's ability to play the ball in the air has always kind of been his weakness. And, the argument can be made which one got the better end of that trade. And I don't know if you'll know the answer to that until you get further down the road, but there's no conspiracy there with the Tyson Campbell thing. But I appreciate George's passion and the emotion and obviously the support that he has for this team, because it matters to him, and that's how a lot of fans are. They're passionate and they care about their team, and when they disappoint, like they did with that collapse in the fourth quarter, it kind of grinds on them. And the reality is it grinds on the players too. It grinds on the coaches too. And Anthony Campanile is a good man, and he will get up in front of the media on Thursday like he does every week. And I know that he's the type of guy that's not going to be proud of that type of situation. Who would be? When you're a ball coach and you're all about ball, it's hard to be proud of a moment like that.
All right, George, thank you for weighing in. Tony Smith now going to take us around the rest of the NFL.
Now, Gems Around the NFL. Brought to you by Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jack's Beach.
Houston quarterback C.J. Stroud remains in the league's concussion protocol going into his second week there. The Texans are placing safety M.J. Stewart on IR following the quad injury that he suffered on Sunday. Cincinnati has opened the 21-day practice window for quarterback Joe Burrow. Baltimore head coach John Harbaugh said yesterday that corner Marlon Humphrey could have to miss a week if he chooses to get surgery for a finger injury that he's dealing with right now, but they may see if he wants to play through it. The Las Vegas Raiders are placing guard Jackson Powers Johnson on IR. He may not be able to return this season, unclear there. Washington head coach Dan Quinn said that quarterback Jaden Daniels will not be traveling with the team for their game this week in Madrid against Miami. Quinn also announced that wide receiver Terry McLaurin will not play this week in Madrid, but that he will travel with the team. And the New York Giants have fired head coach Brian Daboll after the team's 2-8 start to this, his fourth season as the Giants head coach. Offensive coordinator Mike Kafka has been named the team's interim head coach.
All right, thank you, Tone. Logs, hang in there. We got one segment left, so we'll spend it trying to look ahead a little bit. How do the Jags put this behind them? How difficult might that be? And where you might see an opportunity or two for this team to have success against the L.A. Chargers coming into town this weekend. With Jeff Lageman, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark, I'm Mike Dempsey on a Check the Tape Tuesday here on Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL.
Introducing the Jags Stack at Firehouse Subs. A sub so bold, we had to name it after the team that roars. Packed with protein and made to satisfy a football-sized appetite. It's stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, and roast beef. Topped with provolone fresh veggies and our new Duval drizzle. Order the new Jags Stack in the app right now. Available for limited time at participating Jacksonville Firehouse Subs restaurants. The hottest subs in
This is your escape. This is your next adventure. This is Mazda, and this is Mazda at the Avenues. Lauren Brooks here. Right now, purchase any new Mazda model, and Mazda at the Avenues will match your down payment or your payments for 1 full year. Plus, every new Mazda comes with 3 years, 36,000 miles of maintenance at no additional charge to you. This is luxury, and this is the start of something new. This is Mazda at the Avenues. For complete details, call 904-430-8047.
Jaguars Today Tuesday.
Protected by Shillington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Jacksonville Hickens calling it. Checkmate Coatings, my MVP. Tough, slick floors that dominate any space.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Jacksonville is my hometown, and nobody knows roofing like me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We handle everything from repairs to full roof replacements, start to finish. We give honest quotes, use quality materials, and clean up like we were never there. We all look at Google reviews, so go ahead and check out ours. We're proud of all our 5-star ratings. I would say we treat you like family, but some people don't like theirs. Go to BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roof quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
Hey gang, Prosser here. Jacksonville homes are selling, but it can take months, and it takes a price lower than you want. Well, getting top price means aggressive marketing, and Chad and Sandy Newman are the Jacksonville experts who have proven systems to drive the demand to sell your home. And they have this unbelievable promise and guarantee. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. If you need to sell now, Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, and stress-free. You want max price? Chad and Sandy are going to aggressively market your home, and they're going to get it. Anthony and Mary in Palm Coast said, we wanted to move back home closer to family. Getting max price was more important than a fast sell, but we had only purchased our home last year, so we didn't have much equity. After just 23 days of aggressive marketing with Chad and Sandy, they sold our house at the price we needed to make the move. Call the Jacksonville experts you can trust, and I recommend. Call Chad and Sandy at 904-414-6200 or chadandsandy.com.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $3,600 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Expert Automotive on St. John's Bluff Road has some of the highest Google reviews in Jax for a reason. Expert Auto never sells greed, only what you need. All makes and models are serviced at Expert Automotive. This month, get an alignment inspection for only $19.99. Expert Auto does major engine and transmission repair and simple maintenance. All services done at Expert Auto by our ASC certified training technicians. Call today, 374-3373, and ask about $50 off any service. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
Your AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
Your favorite band live, first chord hits. That's a thrill. But for the accident attorneys at Farah & Farah, one thrill beats them all.
It's the thrill of the win. I've been there when the worry is real, when the bills pile up, when the pain doesn't quit, and getting the call that says, "We came through for you." That's huge. It's about seeing that weight lift, helping folks walk out better than when they walked in. Yeah, we're built for that.
Call Farah & Farah, Jacksonville.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Makes us smaller, better, faster, stronger.
Jeff Lageman Tuesday is serviced by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, final few minutes here with Jeff Lageman on a Check the Tape Tuesday. Logs, you got to put this one behind you. That's a challenge, I think. I mean, the fashion in which it happened, give up 26 in the fourth quarter and lose the biggest lead you've ever blown in the history of the franchise. How tough is that mentally? You say they're professionals, they've got to do it, but we've seen hangovers happen before in professional sports. How do you avoid that this week?
Well, you get back to work. I mean, that's the only thing that you can do, and you got to try to put it behind you. I mean, that's what I think Tuesdays are days to do that, whether you win or whether you lose, is trying to get everything behind you, get your mind right, get your body right. And once you come back into the building on Wednesday, it's time to go to work and roll up your sleeves and get better.
So, Logs, you would think, on paper, you look at the Chargers, they've been a good team, but they have issues on that offensive line, but so did the Texans. So, I mean, okay, the Chargers are without their starting tackles and they're done for the rest of the year. I feel like they've at least adapted to playing without them because they haven't had Rashawn Slater for the whole year, and Joe Alt's been in and out, and now he's done for the season. Is what should be an advantage for the Jaguars. Can you even think that they're able to take advantage of that?
That's a great question. I mean, right now you'd say no. I mean, because they haven't been able to take advantage of it against other teams so far. I mean, there's been a couple games this year, the Texans being one of them as well, that you felt like it would be an advantage for the Jaguars to be able to get pressure on the opposing quarterback, and it just didn't work out that way. But here's the reality: the Chargers like to play a physical brand of offense, regardless of who their tackles are, and it's huge that they don't have Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt. They're really good players, both of them. But the Chargers want to play a physical style. That's Harbaugh. That's kind of how he's wired. He wants to run the ball and run the ball with authority. Very similar to Liam Cohen in a lot of ways. And so they're going to stay committed to their run game, regardless of who their tackles are, but probably even more so because of their offensive line situation. And they've got a quarterback who's done an incredible job in his career, not so much this year, but in his career, of protecting the football, and that's Justin Herbert. And he's got arm talent to make all the throws that are out there. He's got a legitimate deep guy in Quentin Johnson, a possession guy that's really good, McConkey, and a really savvy veteran in Keenan Allen. So that's not going to be an easy task for a defense that has been struggling. And offensively, here you go. Here's another really good defense. The Chargers play good ball. They've got some edge rushers that can play some football. So I don't want to say it doesn't get any easier, because this is not the Houston Texans defense, but this is not very far down below the pecking order from the Texans.
Right. It's not the Texans defense, but it's also not the Texans offense. On paper, they should be a lot better on offense, or they are better on offense with the way Herbert has played this year. Logs, I'm condensing a few different questions about this into one. Is there a guy on this roster, and if so, who is it, or who could it be, that when things are slipping away, is the guy that is going to get in people's faces on the sideline and call them to account in the moment? You know what I mean? And do you need that on a professional football team?
I don't think so. It's not so much getting in guys' faces; it's just setting the tempo of the day, and setting the tempo of how things are in the meeting room, on the practice field, and you'd like that to be your quarterback, and that's something that Trevor's talked about him being more comfortable with. But you've got some guys that I think that can do that. I think Robert Hainsey's a guy. I think also Jacoby Myers can be that guy, even though he's new to this football team. I think Parker, just because of his level of play. I think ETN, when he speaks, guys listen. You got to have guys like that step up. And the most important thing is that the guys speaking up have to be playing well. Because if they're not playing well, then a lot of times any type of message that is spoken will fall on deaf ears.
Understood. All right, Logs, your message does not fall on deaf ears. So where will we hear your message? Where can we catch you the remainder of the week?
Thursday, once again, with a happy hour, me and JP Shadrick and Coach Duffner joins us for part of that. And then Jaguars HQ at 5, and then 7 o'clock that night at Strings for Jaguars All Access with me, Brent Martineau, Kai, and then player to be named soon, the outdoor show on Saturday, and then game day on Sunday.
Back at it again, man. Got to dodge those fairgoers. But other than that, we will talk to you on Sunday. Logs, thanks for your service as always. Have a great week.
All right, thank you, boys.
All right, there you go. Check the tape Tuesday in the books. Let's say hello to XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right, Joe C. is in the house.
Did you say the fair?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking agricultural. Okay.
Fair. Fair's going to jack up all the parking for all the Jaguar media parking. Not everybody's parking, so we're the only ones. We're only concerned with ourselves and our own convenience. I'm speaking for myself, of course, Joey. Anyway, what's on the agenda for primetime?
Well, Coach Duff, Logs just mentioned him, Coach Duffner. We rotate between him and Coach Ingram every Tuesday, and so both sides of the ball, he'll pop in, and we'll break it all down. And then we're going to do some college football because DJ Lagway got benched. Is it time for Norvell to be cut loose? A handful of those college football topics we will tear into today.
All those ones you love talking about as Gator and Seminole fans, you know.
You guys are all Jags, but we've been talking about this, and I was telling the son-in-law last night. Since 2014, since the college football playoff began, the buyouts have reached over $1 billion.
It's crazy. We were just talking on the break. LSU trying to get Brian Kelly to take less than the money he's owed. If I'm Brian Kelly, I give him the big fat middle finger and take him to the court exactly like he's doing. I mean,
and by the way, he had 10-win season, 9-win season, and canned.
And if you are on the candidate list for LSU, are you not going to say, I'm not – you better write something ironclad in here that if you fire me, I'm getting every penny that you owe me, and this nonsense about you trying to play this game about I'm fired for cause. What cause?
No offset.
As Tony put it, losing to Vanderbilt is not fired for cause. All right? I mean, come on now.
Actually, that's a great point. I just
Respect
think that
the doors. All right, Joey, have a great show, man. We appreciate it. XL Primetime coming up. We'll be listening to that. Tony Smith, we soldier on. I feel like we're beyond it now a little bit, and we'll start to really focus in on the L.A. Chargers coming to town. And, we can feel however we feel about it. The team cannot afford to wallow in what happened this weekend. So we'll have a guest on tomorrow who covers the Chargers. We'll have Johnny O in studio with us, and we will march towards hopefully the Jags bouncing back somehow, inexplicably. They blew a 19-point fourth quarter lead, but doesn't mean it has to ruin the rest of their season. We'll see how they respond. All right, Tony, great job. Dylan Denmark, the same. Thanks to Jeff Lageman. I'm Mike Dempsey. We're back at it again tomorrow from 10 to noon with more Jaguars Today here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Maxwell House coffee will live on forever.
Jaguars